Congressman, first off, did you like what you were hearing from Boehner and the Republican leadership on the fiscal cliff?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things in there, I could say they sounded good, but the problem is there's no credibility. What I run into when I'm going around the country is they don't believe, the people that I talk to generally don't believe anything they hear. They just don't trust it. Somebody said, oh, yeah, we want to work together. Yes, fine. Oh, yes, we won't raise taxes. They don't believe that. It just goes on, and they're just looking for the truth, and they say, well, all we need is a little compromise. Well, nobody expects that because they don't admit the truth, and the truth is that we're broke. And how do you compromise? The only way you can compromise is on agreeing on what you're going to cut. But instead, they're trying to find out how they're going to agree on what they're going to protect. So I don't think I've heard the answer. They talk about this fiscal cliff, but right. I actually, in my mind, work with the assumption that we're already over the cliff. We're just wondering how we're going to land.
Really? So you're working on the assumption that we are not going to get this solved?
No, it's unsolvable because you have to cut spending. And, I mean, the conservative candidate for president said we should increase the spending by $2 trillion for military and more drones.
Right, and that was one of the reasons, I know, Congressman, that you did not go ahead and endorse Governor Romney.
No, we don't need another war. I mean, we were broke. So.
Well, Congressman, is there, the matter is that this is a minority, what you're espousing is a minority opinion right now because most believe and hope that the two sides will come together with some sort of deal. Do you believe, is there any circumstance, I want to talk about taxes, any circumstance under which you believe the GOP and Republicans would accept any type of tax increase?
Yeah, I do, but they're not in Washington. They're outside of Washington, and I talk about it all the time. And the few people I could work with, like a Dennis Kucinich and others, we had coalitions. We agreed to come together, say, on the militarism. To why do we need to spend more than everybody else put together? So you bring coalitions together of progressives and libertarian conservatives and say, yes, we have to, cut across the board. But right now they say there's compromise on preservation of certain programs, but you have to get together and bring people together of different viewpoints, and I don't call that compromise because I don't think anybody should sacrifice their principles, but there's no reason in the world why you can't get progressives and libertarians to agree on some of these cuts that are the spending we don't need.
Well, Congressman, I mean, there's your view on this, and what you're saying is that you need some more credibility in order to agree to any type of deal here on the fiscal cliff, and people have talked about how there are these Ron Paul Republicans, right? And some of them have gained ground, in the House, for instance, in Kentucky, in Michigan, even in Texas, Senator-elect Ted Cruz. What would they need to see, including you, in order to come together and agree and approve on some sort of deal?
Well, as long as they moved in the direction of less government, I mean,
but what does that mean exactly? Less government. You're talking about
well, maybe taking their oath of office seriously. Looking at Article 1, Section 8, and they swear to uphold the Constitution to only do those things that are authorized by the Constitution. Well, that's long gone. So we're so far gone. We're over the cliff. We can't get enough people in Congress in the next 5-10 years who will do the wise things. So we have to prepare for. They haven't already fallen off the fiscal cliff. It's like what's going on in Greece. Every day you hear of a solution and things pop up, but they're in debt. They spend too much money, and then the people go out in the street and they demonstrate. Just think, Romney was hit because he was opposed. One issue he was correct on, he opposed the bailouts, and the people in the Midwest voted against him. Oh, we have to be taken care of. So that vote was sort of like what we're laughing at in Greece. Oh, all those 80,000 people out there, they don't want anything cut. They won't compromise. Well, it's the people that are that way, and that's why our revolution is significant. We're trying to change people's mind, and that's why changing the minds of young people is so important. Rather than saying that it's Washington's...
But, Congressman, I don't think the people, though, want to see us coming off the fiscal cliff, though.
Well, yeah, I think there are plenty of us, and probably most of your audience would like us to see to come to senses. But if you look at the numbers, and if you look at the way pure democracy works, see, pure democracy is dangerous. The majority dictates against the minority. So right now, the majority are receiving a check. So when you get a vote, and that's why people were sort of surprised with these conditions that this president could get reelected. But that is a bad sign in that there are more on the receiving end. People don't want anything cut. They want all the bailouts to come. They want the Fed to keep printing the money, and they believe. See, they don't believe we've gone off the cliff or that we're close to going off the cliff. They think that we can patch it over, that we can somehow come up with magic solution. But you can't have a budgetary solution if you don't change what the role of government should be. As long as you think we have to police the world and run this welfare state, all we're going to argue about is who's going to, get the loot, who gets the money.
Is that why you've decided? I mean, I know you decided not to run again because you were focused on your presidential campaign, but is that why you've quit Congress?
No, I think people had enough of me. So, but I also don't have,
Congressman.
I don't have much confidence in the political system, and never did. My goal has always been to change people's mind, so as long as people demand more government, they're going to get it. So government reflects the people, and that's why I am excited about going to the college campuses, and I will continue to do that. That's where I was able to get a lot of support, and they're saying, I agree with you. We don't need more government. We want more freedom. We want to be able to keep our own money. We want sound money. And if you had sound money, you don't have deficits because you can't print money.